right, good morning, guys. It's 4:12. It's a Friday, thank God. And I'm on my way to work, which I don't I don't despise my job. I'm very thankful, I'm very grateful. But at the same time, it's like, man, I don't want to go. I don't want to leave my wife and my son. I wish I could stay with them, every single day at the house, but as the husband, as the father, I have to go and provide. That's just our duty as a man. And obviously I'm doing this YouTube stuff, and my dream is to become a full-time YouTuber, and that's why I'm recording these videos, in the hopes that I'll start getting monetized. That way I could provide for my wife and my son and give them a better future. I know we could jump into the topic of like, oh, well, Tony, you only have like a 5% chance of succeeding, a 1% chance. Only the 1% actually get monetized. Like, I don't care what the odds are. It's like, I want to do it. I want to do it, and I'm gonna try. It doesn't hurt to try. Like I'm still going to a job and still making money. It's not like I'm just doing YouTube, as it's not like I'm going on YouTube for full time and not having a job. I think that's worse. And I actually did that mistake back when I was like 22. I was so naive. I was like, I'm gonna become a YouTuber, I'm gonna get monetized and this and that. And I remember I quit my job to go full in on YouTube. I thought that was like a good idea. I was like, if I just quit my job and entirely dedicate myself to YouTube, then surely, I'll make it, I'll get monetized and this and that. But I mean, I was wrong. I was dead wrong. That's just not how it is. That's not sustainable, Money has to be coming in because YouTube takes time. YouTube takes a lot of time. So if you're a young, aspiring creator that's coming up, and you think to yourself that quitting your job is the best thing you could do right now for your YouTube channel, don't do it. Don't do it, please. It's not gonna work out. You need money coming in, and if like your parents are paying all your bills and you have no responsibilities, then I mean, you could get away with it. Is it responsible of you? Probably not. But if you have parents that pay everything for you and you're young, then sure, I mean, give it a try. But as you get older, you're gonna realize that you do need a job. You can't be like 30, still living with your parents and just doing YouTube as a hobby, trying to get monetized. Like, that's just not, it does not look good. It's not very responsible. So just try working on YouTube while still progressing in life. So don't just because you're doing YouTube, that's not a reason for you to just be like, oh, I can't work a full-time job because this and that. Like, no, like, you need, sooner than later, you're gonna need money. And now looking back in retrospect, like in my life, that season where it's like I quit my job to be a full-time YouTuber, it's like sometimes I wish I didn't quit. I wish I would have just kept working while doing YouTube, because I don't know, I just feel like it would have helped me more. But to each their own, right? Because a lot of people, they feel the need to like quit their job because they want to go full-time on YouTube. And in one way it's good because you have all this instead of working a 9 to 5 job, you have all this time to think about ideas, videos. You get to edit and stuff. In a way it's good, but then in another way, like I said, it's kind of bad because you're not having that financial help coming in because you're unemployed. So if you're planning on doing that, then I'll just say think about it hard, or if you want to learn the hard way, well then go ahead. Sometimes we need to learn the hard way, and I feel like that's kind of like the route that I took. I learned the hard way that no, I do need a job. Even though I'm doing YouTube, I need some source of income while I'm doing YouTube. So, oh my gosh, this truck. Why is this truck in the fast lane? He's not even going 65. My dude, why are you in the fast lane? Yeah, so that's where I'm going right now. I clock in at 4:30, and it's a Friday. Thank God. The weekend is here. I'm so excited, and I think about this. Sometimes it's like if we're always excited just to get to the weekend, then we're doing something wrong at our jobs. If we don't like our jobs and every single week we're like, man, I can't wait for Friday, then we need to do something. We need to step it up. We need to lock in for real. So that's kind of like how I feel right now. It's like my job isn't that hard. I make deliveries to different locations, like different retail stores, and honestly it's not hard. We drive to different locations, we drive to different spots, and we just make the deliveries, and that's it. We go in at 4:30, maybe 5, come out at 1 or 1:30, and we clock out and we go home. And hey, we clock out at a very good time, and then we still have like the rest of the day. So honestly, for me, this job is not hard, but if I'm being honest with you, it's like, obviously it's not my dream job. But then again, it's like, I think about this and it's like, dude, no one here has like, in reality, the majority of people are not working at a dream job. It's like, we're working at a place that we studied for, that we, got connected to work at. And, obviously we need to pay the bills and stuff. So I don't want to use the word that we're stuck, but I fear that that's probably the only word I could use right now in this situation. We're either stuck, we're comfortable, or if we want to take it up a notch, we're enslaved to this job because we have bills to pay, we have families to feed, we have cars to pay, we got internet to pay, electricity to pay. So we're kind of forced to be at this job. Now, obviously, just because we're forced to be at this job does not mean we need to stop chasing our dreams. Obviously, for a lot of people, it's a lot harder. Sometimes people have it way harder. But in reality, it's like, despite it being harder, if you really have a dream, you need to make the time for it. I feel like there's no excuses. If you put excuses, it's simply because you don't want to work yourself too much. Sometimes you need to overwork yourself to accomplish your goals. And I'm not saying, I feel like I'm not overworking myself. I feel like I am working more than like a regular person that's just like, oh, I'm gonna go to my 9 to 5 job and work and then go home and sleep and eat and poop and shower and maybe go to the movies, you know, that's cool. That sounds like a regular life, right? But for me, it's like with this YouTube, right, like in the back of my head, you know, whether what's my next video, you know, what else am I going to record? Okay, I recorded the video, now I need to edit the video, now I need to think of the title, the thumbnail, now I need to, you know, post it, and I need to track the video and see if it does well, if the click-through rate is good, are people commenting, you know, I need to, you know, that's all in the that's all in the back of our minds as YouTubers. And we need to do all of that while still, you know, being part of our actual personal life. Because I got a wife, I got a son, I got my family, and you know, obviously I want to be there for them. I want to be there with my wife, with my son. I want to show them love. And then, you know, we have our 9-to-5 job. We have other, you know, our social. I'm just catching myself saying, you know, so much. That's something I need to work on. We have our other extra activities that we all do. Like, for example, I have church on the weekends. I'm a musician for my church. And then apart from that, we like to go out with our families. Like, I like to go out with my mom, my dad, my sister, and we like to have days where we go out to eat. And then we like to also go out to eat with my wife's mom, like her family. You know, those are things that we need to make time for. And then we just need to find areas or time frames in our lives to squeeze in this YouTube stuff. So it's a lot harder, you know. Oh, I said, you know, again. Oh no. But yeah, this whole YouTube stuff it's just like another thing that we have in our schedule for YouTubers. And if you're a YouTuber, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And if you're not a YouTuber and you're just like a casual viewer, then this is what we think about. Oh my gosh, this truck. I always run into this truck. Well, not always, but if I this is my exit, and if I know this truck is ahead of me, oh my gosh, I know exactly where this guy's going. But yeah, this is what us YouTubers we think about. And you know, if you don't want to be a YouTuber, then hey, I mean, not everyone has to be a YouTuber. I feel like there's like a lot of YouTubers that are out of touch, or there's a lot of streamers that are out of touch as well. You know, I've seen it like on my Instagram reels. Like yesterday I saw an Instagram reel of a streamer kind of talking about like, oh, why are people still working a 9-to-5 job? Why are people still out there working a regular job? He was like, you could just become a streamer and make hundreds of thousands of dollars in a single stream, in a single day, in a single month. You know, like, bro, that's so out of touch. All the comments were roasting him. They were like, oh, bro, like, if everyone is a streamer, then who's gonna donate to your super chats, right? Like, who's gonna, you know, like, in reality, who's gonna like flip the burgers? Who's gonna work at the gas stations? Like, obviously, maybe those jobs aren't like anyone's dream job. You know, it's a job that we take because of our situation or because we need money. But to say like, but to be one of the 1% streamers making hundreds of thousands of dollars, which is life-changing money, and to just be able to say like, oh, you don't need a job, like, why are you still working? Why don't you just pick up a camera and record and make hundreds of thousands of dollars? Like, bro, it's not that easy. You think if it was that easy, anyone would do it, and then the whole economy would just collapse, because it's like no one's gonna be working these regular jobs. Well, we're all just gonna be streamers, bro? Like, come on, be real. Like, I don't know, these streamers are getting out of hand. I feel like it's just, I don't know, I'm not a big fan of these streamers, if I'm being honest. But yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to ramble on today and this morning, so I'll catch you guys on the next one.